The Black Shore's Void Flower, Camellia, blossoms into the enigmatic fold that is Solaris. Camellia is blessing us with her presence, and be prepared to water that garden, because she is devouring those plants and flowers to fuel her spinning massacre. Camellia is an upcoming character in version 1.4, and I can't begin to tell you how much of a crowd favorite she is. While she may be a sword user, she'll be putting that sword away to whip you into shape with her viney presence. And she is the only character released so far that I would willingly let whip me into submission, that has a completely unique stance as she sways about those vines holding her in place. My name is Void Enigma, and I'll be going over everything about Camellia, the Havoc Resonator whom will foster your hopes and dreams on her bosom. First things first, Camellia will be a Havoc main DPS character, so she's going to be dealing damage on the team, and she will specialize in basic attacks. This is going to be the brunt of her damage. Her heavy attack, dodge counter, and special resonance skill will all be considered basic attack damage. We'll talk about the implications of that later. She seems to be complicated at first, but she's actually fairly easy to use. She has two modes, normal mode and blossom mode. You can change between the modes using her resonance skill, and there's no duration tied to each mode, so you can freely swap between the modes, minus there being maybe a cooldown to actually swap modes, but not a duration to stay in the mode. In blossom mode, she will dangle and swing like she just don't care. For the most part, you will want to be in blossom mode, but if you're facing a mobile enemy who's moving a bunch, then you may want to switch to normal mode to actually get in some hits. She has access to 2 spin to win techniques depending on which mode you're in. Now, remember those characteristics of her basic attacks that I mentioned earlier? All of those take place when she is in her blossom mode, turning all of her other attacks into being considered basic attack damage. Because of this, you're going to be in blossom mode 95% of the time. Her rotation revolves around dealing consistent damage, and instead of triggering her outro buff when it's ready, she is able to deal a giant nuke at the cost of her entire Concerto gauge. That nuke, or ephemeral blossom, is going to be a major part of her kit, so instead of actually swapping off when her outro is ready, you'll want to use this attack. Now, after you land the ephemeral blossom, you will automatically enter budding mode, which is an enhanced version of blossom mode. In this state, her damage will be significantly increased, allowing you to spin even more like the pole dancer you were born to be. So the general rotation goes something like this. Activate Camellia's skill, swap off and buff up with your other characters if you choose to, then swap back to her, spin to win until your Concerto gauge is filled, Ephemeral Blossom for a giant nuke of damage, cash in your enhanced spin to win damage, and then outro out of her. She is really straightforward and has a fun, unique, mid-air combat style, and at the end of the day, however, she actually functions very similar to Xion, but has an easier access to her spin to win technique. She will play and slightly feel similar to him, but also feel really unique in her own way. But she will be on field for the most part, and she won't really be best in quick swap teams unless you really are proficient with knowing how quick swaps work. Oh, and of course her Resonance Liberation. It does damage. That's it, it just does some damage. It's worth using because of the time stop, especially if you're using it in content like the Tower of Adversity, and the damage just really isn't that significant. It's just free damage and a few iframes, so when you have it, use it. It's really just like that. So while Camellia's Resonance Liberation is quite simple, you can also do something really simple, and that is going to be liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Alright, now we've gone over her kit, let's talk about her echoes. You are presented with a choice when using Camellia, the Crownless or the Dreamless. Now in all honesty, for me, the Dreamless is a far better choice for ease of use. You can quick swap it off, or you can use it at the end of your rotation and it takes no time to do so, and will overall be a good choice for a quick spurt of damage in a large AoE fashion. It's just really simple and easy to use. Now the Crownless will get you a buff for higher numbers from Camellia, but the downside of the Crownless is that it takes a while to finish the combo. You can very easily quick swap off of it and still get that buff, but in doing so, you are only getting about half the damage from the actual Echo. The thing about the Dreamless is, if you quick swap off a Dreamless when you use it, the range of the Echo is actually amazing and the overall motion value is insane. While with the Crownless, the only thing that Camellia gets from this as far as a buff is a 12% Havoc damage bonus, which is not that significant at the end of the day. She doesn't really benefit at all from the Resonance skill damage bonus. Either Echo works, but that's just my opinion on the matter. As for the main stat for that 4-cost Echo, she's going to want crit depending on what your ratio is. Aim for at least 60% crit rate overall. She'll want Havoc damage bonus for the 3-cost piece, but you can use attack percent if you don't actually have that. And of course, for the 1-cost piece, you're going to want to be using attack percent. She is an easy girl to build, so make sure you build her right. Now, as far as her weapon options, I must say I do recommend you getting her signature weapon because it can be quite impactful. We're talking about a 70% damage bonus for basic attacks, and that is the most damaging part of her kit. The thing about this weapon though is that it isn't that useful on other characters, so it may not be the best option for you. This weapon's second passive, which is the 40% basic attack damage bonus, requires you to actually use your Concerto gauge, and this is a mechanic so far that is unique to Camellia. This can definitely change in the future, but for now, not a lot of characters can fully use this weapon to its full potential. She will function just fine with other 5-star weapons, including the standard one. As for the 4-star options, the Battle Pass weapon, Lumen Gloss, is actually really great on her. I'd recommend a 5-star weapon for her though, since she is a main damage dealer, but she can make use of a few other 4-star swords such as the Lumen Cutter or the Endless Collapse. Just make sure that you get that Emerald of Genesis at the bare minimum, as this is a weapon that you should be able to obtain eventually from the standard weapon banner. And now for the fun part, team options. Camellia is going to be the main driver for a Havoc team, but she's also a basic attack damage dealer. Because of that, she has 2 of the strongest 4-star characters in the game to support her, Dungeon and Sanhua. Sanhua will turn Camellia into a powerhouse, and she can easily get off her Ultra buff to power up Camelia's on-field presence. Dungeon can do the same, but she does need a little bit more time on-field. To compensate, she does get access to the Dreamless as well, so you can have a double Dreamless to actually start and deal a ton of area of effect damage to the enemy, and this joint is going to be a good time. Both characters will be Camelia's best partners, and this will remain true for quite some time, especially since the damage add for basic attack is a massive 38%, and Dungeon's Havoc bonus will get to boost all of Camelia's kit. Other than that though, she works in a few quick swapped fringe teams, but that is not really where she's designed to be played though, but it can definitely work if you are good at the game and are really good at actually quick swapping optimally. The easiest way to play her though is as an on-field DPS and just have the other characters buffing and supporting her. Shorekeeper will be a better healer over Verena thanks to Shorekeeper having a longer buff period for crit rate and crit damage, but Verena will be just fine if you don't actually have Shorekeeper or if you're using her in another team. Any healer really works here, but those two are of course the best for her. Camellia is looking to be a very powerful character, but I question how high her peak is, considering she isn't the best for quick swap teams. Nonetheless, she does work in those teams, she just needs a bit more on-field time to be optimal there. Despite this, it's still impressive that she actually has insane amounts of on-field damage, and her area of effect is amazing. Her unique Blossom stance is just incredible, and if this is what Kuro Games has to offer for version 1.x characters, I cannot wait to see what the future is in store for us. She plays similar to Xian, but as far as I know, I don't know who is more powerful. Mortefi gives Xian the same major damage boost that Sanhua gives to Camellia, and it's slightly unfortunate that Camellia will be tied to either Sanhua or a dungeon for quite some time. Either way, she will be quite an amazing damage dealer if you're missing one, so do not hesitate to pull her, especially if you like her design and gameplay. Go ahead and comment down below what you think about Camellia and if you plan on pulling for her, and make sure to like and subscribe for more Wu-Wa content in the future. This has been Void Enigma, and until next time, Enigma out.